Welcome, 8th graders, to today's Explainer. Look, let's be totally honest for a second. You already spend a huge chunk of your day consuming media, right? You're scrolling TikTok, watching YouTube video essays, double tapping on Instagram. You're absorbing a massive amount of info. But today? Well, today we're flipping the script. We are shifting you from just being a consumer to actually being a creator. We're going to unlock a concept that will literally transform how you share your own ideas with the world. We're talking about digital versatility, specifically mastering multimodal communication and doing the whole shebang with profound biblical integrity. So buckle up, because we're taking your digital communication skills to the absolute next level. Okay, so here's our roadmap for the Explainer today. First step, what exactly is multimodal communication? Number 2, why multimodal matters today. Third, we'll dive right into your multimodal toolkit. Number 4, creating with biblical integrity. And finally, number 5, how true education brings peace. All right, let's jump right in. Section 1, what is multimodal communication? Defining the new language. So here's a question for you. Are paragraphs enough anymore? Honestly, really think about it. Imagine you're sitting down to learn something brand new and someone hands you this massive, heavy textbook, just a giant flat wall of one-dimensional text. Your brain probably lets out a little groan, right? Now, compare that to clicking on a crisp, well-edited YouTube thumbnail that breaks down the exact same topic, but it uses visuals, cool animations, sound. It grabs you instantly. Your attention span isn't broken, I promise. It's just that communication has naturally evolved. And honestly, flat paragraphs often just aren't enough to get the job done anymore. So what exactly is this new language? Well, a multimodal response is basically a response that combines different media, like text, images, audio, and video, to communicate ideas more effectively. And there's actual brain science behind why this works so incredibly well. When you combine audio, visual movement, and text, you're hitting multiple senses at the exact same time. It's like a giant puzzle instantly snapping together in your mind. It makes the info so much easier for your brain to process and hold on to. You know, this isn't just some fancy requirement your teacher dreamt up for a random Tuesday project. This combination of media, it's the native language of the internet. It's how our modern world naturally talks, learns, and shares. Moving right along to Section 2, why multimodal matters today. Expanding your reach. Let's think about the traditional way of sharing info for a second. Typing out paragraphs on a page, printing it out, handing it in. It's flat. I mean, sure, it does the job, but it only speaks to one dimension. Now, contrast that with today's dynamic tools. We're talking about really engaging presentations, sleek infographics, perfectly edited videos, immersive podcasts. When you communicate dynamically, you grab your audience's attention and you just refuse to let go. You aren't just handing someone a piece of paper with information, you're literally giving them an engaging experience. Mastering these elements equips you with some pretty incredible power. First off, you share your ideas powerfully. Instead of just coldly stating a fact, you can actually evoke an emotion using imagery and sound. Second, you make concepts truly memorable. Think about a brilliantly designed infographic with catchy colors and the perfect icons. You remember that image way after you scroll past it, right? Third, you reach a much wider audience, because multimodal content is inherently shareable. A great video or graphic can travel the globe, getting remixed and seen by thousands in seconds. And finally, combining visuals and text guarantees ultimate clarity. This is exactly how you make sure your voice stands out in a super crowded digital space. Which brings us to Section 3, your multimodal toolkit. Concrete examples for creators. All right, let's bring some of these projects to life and see how this builds your actual skills. Consider this your personal creator's cheat sheet. First, the infographic. Instead of writing a boring page about a history timeline, you can visually map it out. Use colorful charts, icons, snappy text, so the entire era just clicks in the viewer's mind instantly. Second, the video response. Instead of a standard novel summary, imagine recording a cinematic book trailer, complete with a mood-setting background track and cool visual overlays. Way better, right? And third, the interactive slide deck. This isn't just clicking next. You can build dynamic navigation with clickable maps, pop-up definitions, maybe embedded videos, so the user actually explores your project like a real app. Now let's shift gears a bit for Section 4, creating with biblical integrity, the responsibility of the creator. Now that you've got these amazing technical tools to create compelling media, we need to have a really earnest conversation about the moral responsibility that comes with that power. Colossians 3:23 says, "Whatever you do, work heartily, as for the Lord and not for men." That right there, that's your ultimate motivation. What does working heartily actually look like behind a keyboard? Well, it means not taking lazy shortcuts. It means not stealing someone else's copyrighted music or claiming someone else's artwork as your own. When you're putting together an infographic or editing a video, you aren't just doing it to check a box for a teacher or farm likes from your friends. You're putting genuine effort into the craft because the excellence of your work actually reflects your faith. When you create and share multimodal content, you absolutely must ensure it reflects truth, respect, and integrity. Let's translate that into your everyday reality. Avoiding misleading images? That means you don't crop a photo out of context just to make someone look bad. Avoiding biased data means you don't cherry-pick facts just to win some petty argument online. And preventing harm? That means you steer completely clear of using these incredibly powerful tools to fuel group chat rumors or cyberbullying. Look, those toxic digital behaviors can easily trap creators who are just hungry for quick attention. But you are called to a much higher standard of integrity. Ephesians 4:15 tells us to speak the truth in love. Consider this verse your ultimate safeguard. Because honestly, there's a very real tension here. We've all seen someone online who is technically right about a fact, but they absolutely blast someone in the comments to prove it. They might be sharing the truth, sure, but they are absolutely not doing it in love. Being a brilliant creator is an amazing thing, but your brilliance must always be grounded in truth and delivered with genuine care for the real, actual person on the other side of the screen. And that perfectly sets up Section 5. True education brings peace. The HeroesMart Academy philosophy. I want to ask you a really serious question, and I want you to truly think about this. What is the point of being smart, highly skilled, and supposedly educated if you just continue to make bad choices that hurt the people around you? I mean, you can be the absolute most talented video editor or graphic designer in your entire school, but if you lack a moral compass, you can end up causing massive damage. Being digitally savvy is completely useless if you use those skills to tear people down, cancel others, or spread negativity. The harsh reality is education without morality ultimately just leads to pain. But there's a flip side. Romans 8:6-7 promises peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. Try to contrast this peace of mind with the very real digital anxiety that so many people feel today. When you use your multimodal toolkit with biblical integrity, you know what happens? You don't wake up panicked about a comment war you started the night before. You aren't stressed out about hiding a lie or frantically deleting toxic posts. When you aren't participating in all that drama, you actually get to enjoy the internet and your own creations in total peace. That is the true, lasting reward of creating with a spiritual mind. So here is the final question I want to leave you with. Will you use your digital voice merely to make noise or to share truth and find true peace of mind? The multimodal tools we've discussed today are an incredible gift, and the choice of exactly how to use them is entirely in your hands. I challenge you this week to step out of that consumer mindset. Take your toolkit and create something that actually brings light to your corner of the internet. Go out there, create wisely, speak the truth in love, and show the world the absolute incredible power of your digital versatility.